I am constantly working on films. But for the longest time, I was probably only writing 1 or 2 short films every year. But 1 month ago, all of that changed. For the last 30 days, I have been writing 1 short film every single day. Every day, I've had to wake up, come up with an idea, and write it into an outline for an entire short film for 30 days. And this is what happened. Alright, this is day 1 of writing a film every day for 30 days. I've got my pen, got my paper, let's start. The first several days were mostly me just figuring out how I could come up with ideas for stories quickly. I would think about random scenes and scenarios that interested me and then work back from there, figuring out how I could make a story out of that. And I found this quite effective. I was surprising myself with how quickly I was able to come up with a new story each day and work it into a basic outline. Alright, it's been about 10 days and so far things are going very well. I've definitely surprised myself with how quickly I've been able to come up with new ideas when I A, set my mind to it, and B, I'm not worried if it's going to be good or not. Because I know I'm going to be writing 30, so if a lot of them aren't that good, it doesn't matter. And while a lot of the stories I've written haven't been all that great, some of them I think could have potential for me to make into a film at some point. So overall, it's going good, and we'll see how it goes for the next 20 days. From 10 to 20 days, I continued writing films, but now I was trying to write better films. I was writing in new settings and genres than I had previously done, and just overall trying to do more advanced stories. This was really good because I felt they were getting better. The only problem was, it was making me care more about how good the films were, which turned out to be a bit of a problem later on. So here's something you may not have thought about. Whilst you're just getting to watch this 5-minute video, I actually had to spend hours of my life writing 30 different films, which I did enjoy, but it was a huge amount of work. So I'd really appreciate it if you just hit that subscribe button. It's completely free and it allows me to make more videos like this. So long. Alright, and just like that, it has been 20 days. So what's happened? Well, I definitely have noticed that over the last 10 days, the stories have been taking a lot longer to write. I think this is just because I've been more ambitious with my ideas. I've tried to do like bigger scenes or different stories, or like use non-linear storytelling or different things like that. They've definitely taken longer, but I think the original coming up with ideas and developing a story, I think that has gone quicker. I think I've been better at figuring out what my themes are and, all of that kind of thing. I am a little bit concerned though that it is taking me a lot longer to write each film, and so we'll see what happens in the last 10 days. But I think I've definitely written some stories I'm proud of. A lot that I think aren't very good, but I've definitely written some I'm proud of, and I think they are getting better, but we'll see what happens in the next 10 days. And just like that, I have written 30 films. Well, as I expected, these last 10 days did get more difficult because I did inevitably fall into the trap of caring way too much about how each film turned out. However, I do think over these last 10 days, I did write some of my most interesting films of the 30, so that at least is something pretty cool. But more importantly, what did I learn throughout these whole 30 days put together? Have I magically become an incredible film writer? Well, no, but I think there were 3 main things that did change. The first is, I do think I actually got better. I think that throughout these 30 days of writing, I think I did get better at coming up with ideas, figuring out themes, and developing interesting storylines. But more important are these 2 takeaways. One is that I got in the habit of writing. I went from just thinking about ideas to actually getting them down on paper and developing them into a story. And I was doing that regularly. And I think that is very important. And thirdly, it forced me to be creative. Like I've already said, by the end, I was running out of ideas, but this forced me to think harder and to find new creative ways of doing things, which I think is super valuable. So, do I recommend you do this? Well, maybe not exactly, but I do recommend that you actually start writing films and trying to come up with new ideas all the time. So, while no, this didn't make me a perfect writer or anything like that, it got me being creative, which I think is the most important thing. But thanks for watching, keep filmmaking the easy way, and go watch this one next.